Hey guys, welcome to Bones Collector, and tonight we're going to continue on this series of the top 100 games of the Bones Collector, and I'm excited about these 10 games that we have tonight. But I do want to mention, in the previous videos I was talking about going to your local board game convention, of course not thinking that it's impossible because most of them are canceled and COVID-19 still has a grip on the planet actually. So you can't do that right now, but in the future, if you're looking for great board game deals, that's certainly a resource to use. But let's get going on this next 10 of the top 100, and let's start with number 80, and it's going to be Old West Empresario. Old West Empresario is a game by Stanislav Kordansky, and it's published by Tasty Minstrel Games. And I mentioned in a video before how Tasty Minstrel is doing a great job publishing right now, and I have, oh jeez, I don't know, I'd have to go through and count, but I have a lot of games in my library from Tasty Minstrel. The games that they publish seem to be like mid-weight style of games that just seem to hit home with us. So yeah, Old West Empresario, and you're trying to become the best impresario in the Old West by building your town better than everybody else. And it's a dice drafting game, which I love. And you will go through and roll dice. You have some die tiles. Each one of them has a value on them. So it depends on what you roll on the die. You put the dice on these tiles, which is pretty cool, and then you start to draft them. And it depends on how many players you have is how many dice you use. You use 2 dice per player plus 1. So we always play at 2, so that's 5 dice. And that's what we roll, 5 dice, and you put the dice on these tiles, and you begin to draft them. Now on your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can take the tile and construct it later in your town. You can take the tile and cash it out because you probably need money, or you can activate your town with that number. And those tiles that they're in this game have die values on them, so that once you build them and have them in your town and you roll that particular die, you're able to activate that. Like this is a 5 right here, and you would activate that tile every time you roll a 5 and you say, I want to activate my town. So that's pretty cool. And once you're building your town and getting it bigger and bigger, you get points for grouping them together, and there's special bonuses for the way that you put them in your town. So at the top of the board, there's wanted cards. I almost said most wanted, but they're wanted cards, and you have 6 of them, I believe. The gold ones, if you can complete those goals, you get the gold one, and it's more points than the silver one, which is underneath it. So you have 2 opportunities. If someone snags the gold one, you can still get the silver one for doing whatever that goal is. But yeah, that's you get a whole big bag of tiles. I want to show you everything that's in this game. All the tiles kind of look like that, and they're nice thick tiles. And when you take them at first, you're going to lay them face down and just show the gray side until you have the money to construct that tile. And below every one of those die tiles that you use are going to be 2 of the town tiles for you to choose from. So if you roll a 6, you put the 6 on the die tile, and then there's going to be 2 town tiles underneath there. You select one of those to either trash or build later in your town. Or you don't do either, and you can activate your town with that 6. So that's what you do with that. And you get a whole bunch of these brown dice, D6s. The person at the end of the game that has the most victory points, which are people, so the people are the victory points, wins the game. And there's a bag of money, and this draw bag does not come in the box. If you don't have a draw bag, we just had an extra draw bag and we put it in here. So when you're taking tiles and replenishing the spaces underneath the dice, that you take them randomly out of the bag. Helps out a little bit, but you can just stack them up by the die tiles and take them off the stack. I mean, it's either way, works fine. But yeah, that's what's in this box. Population, first player marker. Okay, so it's population, that's the points. It's the same thing as victory points, but it's done with people. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. And I think you start out with a character that you're going to be, and you have a special power. So yeah, Old West Empresario, it's a lot of fun. It plays very quickly. Lori and I can play this game 2-player in 30 to 40 minutes, have it back in the box, and say goodnight. But that's Old West Empresario, and I really, really love it. Number 80, I'm gonna put on the cat tree over here. Since my cat's sleeping under the bed, every time she gets done eating, she goes and sleeps on my crokinole board under the bed, so I'm glad I have that. Okay, this is number 79. 79. This is one you'll not see on anyone's list but mine. And this is called Sunrise City. The game designer is, I think it's Isaiah Vallejo. And this game we've had for quite a while. I mean, probably three, maybe 4 years now. And there's a picture of the back of the box, which I didn't show you in Old West Empresario. Which I'm sorry that I didn't show you Old West Empresario, the back of the box. But this one is a tile laying game. And you can see here, hopefully, what it looks like when you might be done playing the game. And those black markers are things you put on to signify an even level, because the odd levels pay bonus points. But each player, when you start the game, you're going to draw 4 zoning tiles each. You're going to lay down those zoning tiles, and then you're going to draw 4 city building tiles. Put those in your hand. You don't show those to each other. They're secret, so you don't know each other's hand. And then you start to use bidding tokens, and you're going to bid. It's got a bidding mechanism in it. You're going to bid on those zoning tiles that you put down. And whoever wins the bid on those zoning tiles, you have to have one of your tokens on that zoning tile in order to play one of your building tiles. So there's a lot of thought process that goes into this, and there's a card mechanism in it. You're going to draft cards at the beginning of the game, 3 each, and you're going to be able to use those cards at the beginning of each round, so it's 3 rounds long. And I tell you, we have the best fun playing this game. When you lay that building tile down, there's 3 numbers on it. There's a number in the middle. That's how many points you receive for building that tile. And the number on the right is a bonus, whatever that happens to be, if whoever has that token. You may put a building tile on the city that only has one of your bidding tokens on it, and the other one is your opponent's. Your opponent gets that bonus point for wherever that building tile covers their bidding token. So it gets, I mean, this game is not, I think it's a little bit bigger than a gateway game. It's a game that has quite a bit of thinking in it, because again, you're going to think about how you want to lay down those zoning tiles, because you see what you have in your hand already when you start the round. So you have to lay those zoning tiles down so that you can match up your building tiles. So you're thinking about that, and then you have to bid. So you want to bid to try to lay down your building tiles, because you have to match the colors of the zoning tiles. And then maybe you see your opponent bidding on a certain zoning tile, and you're thinking, well, you know what, if they put one there, I'll put one of my bidding tokens next to it just in case they build on those 2 spaces. Then, because you don't know for sure, you're just going to guess. So then if they build on those 2 spaces, they'll get their bonus for building the tile, the bonus for their 1 bidding token, but I have the other space on my bidding token on the other space, so I'll get something out of their building. So that's, you have to try to think about that. And man, I don't know, you don't hear, this game doesn't get a lot of buzz, but hey, look it up. Sunrise City, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. It's been in our library for quite a while. And you know what, when you play this game, the sky's the limit. It says so right on the box. So that's, and another thing I want to say about this game, there's a rule book, boom. And another thing that makes this game really interesting is the scoring mechanism in it. You're going to start on 0 off the board, and then climb this ladder scoring, and the object, or what you want to do, and the way you win this game, is to have the most of these stars. And the way to get those is, once you get up here to the top, you get a star. But I tell you what, if you land right on the star, which is 10, the number 10 space, you get 2. So if you don't land on that, you wrap around and have to go all the way back up the scoreboard to try to get another star. So when you're laying and building your tiles, you want to think about trying to hit that number 10 right on the nose, so you get 2 stars, because that can win the game for you, because it's a close game. Whenever we play this game, you're 2-3 stars difference from each other, so you really want to try to do that as often as you possibly can. Okay, and so those are the stars, and these are the little markers for the even levels, because you get bonuses for the odd levels, so you got to mark those on the board when you're building. And these chunky bidding tokens, these are nice. I mean, these are really nice. And these are the building tiles. I tell you what, you guys, this is one heavy box. Check that tile out. That's thick as tiles. I don't think I have another game with tiles that thick. And that's what some of the artwork looks. And I told you, you get the points in the middle when you build that tile. And purple is wild. Yeah, so when you're building, you're trying to match the colors. So here's a good example. That's orange and yellow, and they have this, I think yellow is industrial, or I think orange is residential, maybe, something like that. But each color has a specific name or type. And in the middle there, you can see that 4, if you build this tile and lay it down on a red zone and a yellow zone, you get that 4 points automatically. Then, wherever your bidding token is, you're going to get those points too. Whoever has a bidding token underneath those 2 spaces. So that's pretty cool. But man, I tell you what, these tiles are so heavy, and this game is just a lot of fun to play. Oh my gosh, we really enjoy it. So yeah, that's Sunrise City. Magnificent production, incredible actually. But it's been around a while, and I really enjoy it. We've kept it all this time, and we love to play it. That's Sunrise City. Okay, that's number 79, so we're going to go to number 78. Number 78 is Azul Summer Pavilion. And Azul Summer Pavilion came out in 2019, so it's fairly new. It's the 3rd game in that trilogy. I think it went Azul, and the second one was called Stained Glass of Sintra. Thank you, my editor and wife. Just said it's a stained glass of Sintra, and she is correct. But this one, we watched it play. We didn't. Azul was one of those games that didn't hit home with us, and it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. And the designer is amazing, Michael Kiesling. We do have other games by him, and really respect his work. But Summer Pavilion is very similar to the other ones. You have factory tiles, and then you have all these. And there's the back of the box. Show that to you. So you can check that out. And these factory tiles, you're laying these really nice tiles out on. Yeah, there's a whole bunch, there's a whole bag of them. They wouldn't all fit in the bag, so you get, I think this draw bag comes with it. Yeah. So you get this big draw bag full of these tiles, and you're simply going to draft those tiles. There's some rules to do that, but you're going to draft them and lay them on your player board and make these like stars or flowers or whatever you want to call them. And you can also lay them in the middle, and there's points to be scored there. But you get a point for every one you lay down, and you get a point for every one that's adjacent to it when you do put it down. So you get bonuses for surrounding this statue, the window, or a pillar. And the bonuses are on the scoreboard right here, and there's going to be a bunch of tiles here. And when you, when you surround the pillar, you get 1 tile. You get to draw a tile from there. When you surround the statue, you get to draw 2 tiles from there. And when you surround the window, you get to draw 3 tiles from the middle. Man, you got to do that, because that really helps out a lot. And then up here is each round. You're going to play 6 rounds, and this is the color of that tile that will be wild during that round. And you can carry over on your player board. You can carry things over like, I think 4 tiles on your player board. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you see the next round is going to be orange, is going to be wild, and you have some orange that you're not going to use, you can save them to the next round. That's really important and really useful to do. And then also on the scoreboard, it shows you how much you get, how many points for each flower or star, whatever you want to call them, on your player board. Purple pays 20 on down to the middle, you get 12 points for completing those. So and you can't do them all. So you going to have to let the game come to you. Whatever tiles you happen to be able to get, you want to build that star on your player board and get it completed, because that's where you win the game. You have to have completed stars or flowers, I think. I mean, every time we've played it, you have to have some of those completed in order to win this game. The only thing I didn't like about this game, first of all, was I don't know why they didn't make this just as thick as the player board. I don't know what's behind that. And then also, this scoring track, it works well for us because we only play at 2. But you can see here, you can only fit 2 markers on that scoring track. But if we played 3 and 4 players and you were all on the same space, you would have to be off the board. So I don't know what was behind that either. So they could have done some design change. Hey, but those are small complaints. This game is, obviously, I love it because it's in my top 100, and we enjoy it. It's the best Azul game, I think, and I really like it. Of course, you get this big tower too, excuse me. Once you place the tiles on your board during a round, you put the remainder in here, and then once the round's all over, you just dump them back in the bag. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's got an insert in here where you tuck the bag away, and Nice rule book, tells you exactly how to play. My cheat notes. That's Azul Summer Pavilion. Maybe some of you have played it, or you played some of the other box fart. Played some of the other Azul games. This one we really like. There's more going on in it. The original Azul was kind of a real simple gateway game. This one really takes it to another level, which is not that hard. But yeah, it's a great game, Azul Summer Pavilion. All right. Okay, this is number 77. Kingsburg. This is an old game. 2008, I think it came out. And there's the back of the box. And the designer is Andrea Chiarvesio and Luca Iannacco. Fantasy Flight Games. I don't believe they were the original publisher of this game, but they picked it up. And that's who did this edition. And it's probably the only Fantasy Flight game I have in my library. But yeah, that's a pretty box. I really enjoy the cover of that. It looks pretty cool. And it's the rule book, my cheater notes. This is what your player board looks like, and you're going to try to build these to give you special benefits to assist you in gaining points and winning the game. So let's see what else we got in here. And those are kind of thin. They're thin, but it doesn't seem to hurt the game. I mean, it's not a complaint from me. And let's see. It's a bag of wooden cubes for resources. This is your dice, and it's a dice placement game. You're going to roll dice and place them on the nobles to gain favors from them. And that's what it looks like right there. And there's been another edition of this, a second edition that has all the expansions and stuff in it. I didn't care for the game after you add a bunch of expansions. I like it the way it was in its original form. And so when I picked it up, that's what I wanted. And this is what the board looks like. And again, you have values on here that you're going to have to meet in order to get those resources. Down here tells you how to go through the round, and then once the round's over, you have to fight a little monster down here. Not a big deal, just have to be prepared to beat them, and that's it. Yeah, that's Kingsburg. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's got a, let's see, here's the insert in the box, and everything fits in here nice and neat. There's your enemy cards that you have to defeat. A lot of dice that are very nice. I think in the original game they might have been wooden, but this is a later edition, so they're acrylic or plastic or whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty cool. And that's it. That's Kingsburg. A very fun dice worker placement game. Been around for a long time, and we're not sick of it yet. So it's still in my library, and I really enjoy playing it. That's why it's in my top 100. There we go. So now, Kingsburg. Bye, Kingsburg. Now we're on number 76. 76. This game came out in 2019 also, I believe. Yes, it's Horrified. Horrified is a game by Prospero Hall. Yeah, there's the back of the box. It plays 1 to 5 players. It's cooperative, so that makes it a lot of fun. And it's the Universal monsters. And the monsters that I grew up with, I really enjoy that. It really sucks me in. I love Frankenstein and the Mummy and Dracula. Those were all the monsters that I was afraid of when I was a kid, because they used to be on Chiller Theater real late at night, and I loved to sneak out and just catch a glimpse of them. And then the neighbor down the street had models of them, and we'd paint them and have a great time. But yeah, in Horrified, the monsters are going to come after you, just like the pandemic mechanism, where you're just going to have to react to what's happening on the board and try to make a plan to defeat those monsters. Here's the Horrified board. If you haven't played this, you don't know what you're missing. I think this is a mass market game you can get at Target or something. I don't know where we got it from, but that's the board. Different locations that you're going to go to try to pick up tiles in order to defeat these monsters. Each of the monsters have a special power that you have to defeat in order to remove them from the game. And this game, folks, is very challenging. We've been beat in this game, and we're pretty good at cooperative play. We played it with 3 monsters, and I think we lost. We get pretty brave sometimes and try to beat it. When you got 3 of these monsters chasing you around the board, it's difficult because you really have to plan your moves. But these are the tiles that you're going to pick up in order to, and you can, when the monsters attack you, you can discard some of these in order to fend off their attack, but you need them to go to the locations of those monsters and complete the tasks put before you in order to get them off the board. And that can be a real challenge. I think this little drawback came with this, I hope so. And what else we got? These are the characters that you can be. Yeah, each person's going to be a character. Pretty nice components. Those are thick boards. And the card stock, I really like this game, so we've sleeved the cards. You have a deck of cards. This is a hero deck, and this is the monster deck. And once you complete your turn, the monsters will take their turn. And that's just the way the game works. Hero takes a turn, the monsters take a turn. And they will move towards you, and they're aggressive in many ways. And that can get pretty ugly, trying to run away from them and try to complete the tasks that are put before you. And here's some of our monsters that come with the game. Oh yeah, there's Dracula. Wow. And there is Frankenstein as bride. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I got that movie. Invisible Man. Wolfman. And The Mummy. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I get scared even thinking about this game. This is a lot of fun. We've played it a lot because first of all, we enjoy cooperative gameplay. It's a challenge to work together as a team, and you feel so good when you win. And especially when the odds are stacked against you, things look grim, you can really come on strong and pull a victory from the jaws of defeat. Got some dice that you roll, a bunch of people, villagers that you're going to save, and that the monsters are going to eat as they go around the board, or eat or kill or whatever, capture. That's what we say at my house. They're going to capture them, and after they capture so many, you've lost the game, so you have to protect them in addition to thinking about what you're going to do to get rid of the monsters. So it becomes very difficult. And one of the best things about the villagers is Wilbur and Chick are in it. That's Abbott and Costello, and my grandkids love Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman, and having Wilbur and Chick in this game is pretty cool. Yeah, oh, also you get a monster mini for each monster, and I suppose you could paint those up if you're good at painting. I'm not good at painting, nor do I have the time, so they just stay the plastic color that they came in. So that's pretty cool. And I showed you the board, and that is Horrified. 2019, it was definitely in my top 10 of 2019. I don't know where, it doesn't matter. It's just a great game. The stakes have been raised. Horrified. All right, put that down there. All right, number 75. Number 75 is a game called Milestones. No, you've never heard of it, have you? I didn't think so. By Stefan Dora and Ralph Zerlin, and the art is by Clemens Franz, who does Agricola. A lot of the games I have have his artwork, and I like it. And the reason why I wanted to put this game in front of you and in my top 100 is, number one, I love the game. It's an excellent game. And number two, they were clearancing this out forever. Less than $10. I couldn't believe it. I try to tell everybody, get this game. It is so cool. And there's the back of the box right there. You can see you have a player board, which is a rondel, and I'll tell you how that works. So here we have scoreboard. We have the village board where you're going to build roads and houses, and when you cover a milestone, it has a point value on the milestone. So that's what the back of the box looks like, and let's show you inside. The complaint that anybody's going to have with this game is production. It's nothing magical as far as, it doesn't have any miniatures, stuff like that, and your player boards are kind of thin, but it doesn't matter. This game is beautiful. And here's the game in a game is this player board. It's a rondel, and you're going to hire workers. There's a whole bag of workers. Let me get some of those out of here. And your workers are going to go on the top of that board, and they see the numbers on them. They have to be in numerical order on your board. That's when you're placing them. You want them to be in numerical order, because when you're coming around the rondel, if they're in order, smaller to greater, you get $1. And I tell you what, that doesn't sound like a lot, but in this game, you want that extra $1. Let me tell you, money's tight, so you want that. So you want to keep those in order. But here's the thing: as you're going around, you can see at the top it has some resource values. So when you go there, you get those resources. You want to ask, you have to decide, do I need those? Do I need to stop here? Because you're only allowed, I wish I looked it up. I think maybe 2 moves or 3 moves or something. So you can't move very far, and you have to decide what you want as you're going across your workers. And then you get down here, and these are actions you can take. So you want to take those actions. Some of them are you're going to build on that main board. And once you get around to here, to the castle, guess what? You have to fire one of those workers. That is a hard decision to make. What do I want? Who do I want to fire? And you have to take him off your board. That really will really upset you sometimes, but you have to do it. And you keep going around and around your player board like that, and it's so much fun, you guys. I can't tell you how much fun we have playing this game. It's a blast. And that's the player board, so you're working that rondel constantly. Kind of reminds me of Teotihuacan, which is a big rondel, but this is the same thing. And then the board is very nice, and looks like that. And you can see those values on the milestones. Once you build to those milestones, you get those point values, and you can build houses on there for bonus points and roads, so it's pretty cool. Here's the back of the board. It says milestones on it. Yeah, I mean, this game was like, I don't know, $7.99, something ridiculous, $6.99. I was like, I'm getting that game because I knew it was good. I had, watched somebody play it online, and I knew it was something that I would really, really like. But you get a bunch of worker tiles. I showed you the wooden resources. These are the houses and markets that go on the board themselves. There's some cover tiles, because sometimes when you're putting your workers, they're not level, so you have to put a cover tile underneath them. There's workers themselves, a bag of money, special bonus tokens you can put on the board, you earn and can put on the board. And there's roads and milestone markers in there. So that is so cool. Oh man, I wish I could have. And the whole time this was going on, I would tell people, hey, this game is great. Go buy it. It's fantastic. It's under $10. I couldn't believe it. And it's an excellent game. We love to play it. Milestones, that's my number, whatever. That was number 75. Now we're on number 74, and it's Champions of Midgard. Champions of Midgard is a game by Ole Steinus. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Yeah, it looks like Steinus. Yeah, that's the front of the box, and that's the back of the box, and you can see the board. You can see the board there. The board is, I don't want to say it's too large, but it's pretty big. I think we have played on the card table, but it was very difficult. So, yeah, it takes up quite a bit of space, this game. Champions of Midgard. It's a worker placement and set collection game. You are simply going to be moving around, battling monsters. And the production of the game is very good. I like it. I don't know about other people, but I think it's very, very good. The board is nice, and this is the board. I want to show it to you because it is pretty big, and it's probably going to glare on the camera, but yeah, it's a big board. Yeah. And you have locations where you're going to put cards. I think there's a troll deck, a Draugr deck it's called, and then a monster deck that you're going to use longboats and ships to do battle with. You get some beautiful dice to roll, and 3 different colors. They have different kinds of values on those dice when you go to do battle. You're just going to be trying to defeat monsters to gain glory or fame or whatever it is, and have the most by the end of the game. And if you have, like, there's destiny cards that you're going to get, which are gold cards or contracts, and you complete those also to get fame points or glory points for the end of the game. And then you have rune cards that give you special benefits throughout the game, and that's pretty cool. I didn't think I would like this game, to be quite honest with you, because it's a theme that I don't really care for, but they did it well. It's very interesting and it's fun. Lori and I really enjoy it. There are trolls, but I mean, the monster deck has some really cool monsters in it because, and I'm okay with it because I can't pronounce half of them. Yeah, Dreki, Harimthurs. You can see some of the art on these cards. It's pretty cool. But it doesn't have the same old generic, I guess is the word I'm looking for, monsters and to do battle with. 'Cause I mean, the fantasy theme has been done to death in this industry, and I don't care for it. It's just boring. But anyways, there's your player markers, and when you start out the game, you're going to be a certain character, and you have a certain ability that's going to, a small assist, it's nothing great, just a small assist to start the game, and that's pretty cool. And we have a lot of fun playing this game, Champions of Midgard. I really, really like it, you guys. Yeah, and if you haven't tried it, please do. Gray Fox Games is the publisher. The thing I appreciate most about it, I guess, and why I can deal with this as far as the theme is concerned, is there's nothing gross in it on the cards. You know, there's nothing horrible or horrific, and I like that from Gray Fox. Thank you very much, Gray Fox. So that's Champions of Midgard. Yay! And we're on number 73. Number 73 is Quacks of Quedlinburg by Wolfgang Warsch. And we love Quacks of Quedlinburg. And in Quacks of Quedlinburg, you are going to be making up potions in a pot, and you better do it right or it'll explode and burn you. So it's a push your luck game. You're drawing tokens out of a bag. There's the back of the box. Yeah, so you can see that. 2018 Kennerspiel de Jahres. So I guess I'm not the only one that's in love with Quacks of Quedlinburg. My wife and I both, we played it at a convention. Brr. Man, we have cows out back. I don't know what maybe they're hungry. But we played this at a convention, and we didn't like it right away, but the more we thought about it, our gameplay of that particular experience, we said, you know what, that was okay. And we decided to pick up a copy, and now we love it. The more we play it, the more we love it. And hey, you know, it's kind of random. You're going to be drawing tokens out of a bag and trying to complete and buy more and more tokens for your bag that are more powerful and can move you up your potion track faster and faster, and that's pretty cool. This is the round counter. There's 9 rounds, and when you hit certain rounds, you're going to change the game a little bit. And let's see, we got draw bags for each player, and we've kind of, one thing about this game that we didn't like was the quality of the tokens that were in it. They were very thin, and they're going to get beat up quick, you guys. So we bought these little token holders off of Amazon. Little plastic, let me pour some out in my hand here. Yeah, little plastic holders. And you just put your tokens in there, and then they won't get so beat up. And it just feels chunkier when you're drawing them out of the bag too. So we really like that. And we put all of our tokens in this game in those plastic holders so it would last. And I think somebody makes actual tokens for this game, but it costs about twice as much as the game, so we just couldn't justify that. So we didn't. We like that. That was cheap. They were pretty inexpensive. And so you got all those tokens. So what do we got in here? We got the ingredient books, and there's a bunch of them because that's gonna give you some game variability. You have gemstones that you're going to collect. Each of you have a water droplet and a rat that you're going to use on your potion board, your player board. And there's certain functions that they have in the game. I'm not going to get into it right now. And then loads and loads of tokens that you're going to, each one of them has a different function and benefits you in some way that makes you be able to move up your player board faster or give you some points and things like that. And then you have fortune teller cards. And fortune teller cards go to the first player of the round, and that player is going to turn one up, and that's going to apply for the round, whatever. So like a little rule change. And so you have to watch out for those fortune teller cards. Hey, that's a cool game. I love Quacks of Quedlinburg, and that is a fun game. But let's see. Yeah, the bags go in here. Do-do-do-do. That was number 73. And now we're down to number 72. And number 72 is a game called Rattlebones. How many of you have played Dice Forge? I think that was the name of the game. But it's a dice crafting game like Dice Forge, only it's more fun. And I really love this game. And the reason I bought this game, I think I watched Game Boy Geek do this game, and he really liked it. He said this game is really fun. And for whatever reason, I was on my phone, and it was $17 on Amazon. I said, 17 bucks? And so I went ahead and ordered it, and Lori and I have played it, and we've fallen in love with it. It is fast, and it is fun. And that's the back of the box. It's got kind of that creepy Halloween Five Nights at Freddy, that my grandson's into Five Nights at Freddy, and this guy kind of looks like, has that look of Five Nights at Freddy. But let's take a look in the box and try it. By Rio Grande Games, I didn't say that, and Stephen Glenn is the designer. So, now one thing we did when we played this game after a couple of times, we decided the only way to play it is to get one of these plastic organizers for all the die faces. You can see all the die faces in there, and those you're going to be building your dice to be more powerful. It's a dice builder, like a deck builder, but with dice. And the thing I love about this, these dice are heavy, dudes. Man, I love these things. Check those out. They are real heavy. You have a little tool, pink tool, and you use that little pink tool to pry off the face of the die and put on the one that you earn while you're going around the board. And that is so cool because your dice get more and more powerful, and you have to think to yourself, what do I want to do next? You have 3 wooden monkeys on the board, and you have to decide which one to move. Let's see here. I'll show you the board, and the simple way you set the board up. Okay, you have 3 monkeys that are going to start right here, and you have a deck of cards, and the cards are the secret to this game. You randomly select those cards and put them on these spaces where you see the light. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little lighter shade, and you're going to lay the cards down on there. And then when you roll your die, you only get to roll 1 die. Whatever number comes up, that was 6. So I'm going to take one of those and move it 6 spaces and land on one of these cards, and whatever that card is, that's the die face that I get to decide whether I want to put that on the die I just rolled. So I'd pry that off and put it on there. And once you have your dice build up, like if you rolled the train, then you would do the train function when it came up on your die, which is getting points around here. And then you have a point marker that's going to go on this scoring track, and Mr. Rattlebones starts over here. So Rattlebones will start here, we'll start there, and guess what? The first player to meet Mr. Rattlebones wins the game. I love that. And every time you roll your die, they all have a Rattlebones guy on them. See him? That's Mr. Rattlebones. You roll that, Mr. Rattlebones moves to the players. He's going to keep coming towards you. First one to get to him wins the game. And it's fast. We've played this game in 20 minutes. You can just roll these dice and roll them and just keep on going as fast as you can go, and it's so much fun. And I am personally responsible for running this game out of stock on Amazon, because I think it was like 3 weeks ago it was $18 again, and I told everybody that I could think of, buy this game. It is so amazing. $18, you can't beat it. Man, there's games there right now that are $100, and they're not as good as old Mr. Rattlebones. This game is a whole lot of fun, and I'm glad I could tell you about it. There goes those cows again. Yeah, made in USA with pride, Rio Grande Games, Mr. Rattlebones. 2 to 4 players, 15 to 30 minutes. Wow, that is fast. Ages 14 and up. I really like Rattlebones. Love playing that game. All right, 71, and we're down to the last game of this 10, and this game is called Trekking the National Parks by Charlie Binks. And Lori and I played this at a convention also. It says winner Mensa Select on the box, and Charlie Binks happened to be there and told us about this game. And hopefully I can find the picture and I'll post it for you guys. But yeah, me and Charlie talked about this game, and he told me how his parents took him around to national parks when he was a child, and he fell in love with them, and he made a board game about that. So there's the back of the box. The publisher is Underdog Games. We really like playing this game. The board, and this is a nice box too. Let's see. Hey, there's a picture in the box lid. I said Charlie, it's Charlie Bink. Charlie Bink is his name. There's a picture of him with his parents. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's a picture of Charlie with his parents in some park or something. So that's pretty cool. And don't you love games like that that have a story and have a wonderful theme like that? And yeah, there we go. That's a picture of me and Charlie, the designer, at the convention. So I just got lucky and he was there, and had a chance to talk with him about it. So wow, this board is so nice. And it is a large board, which, yeah, but I'm going to put up with it because there's no player boards, so. Oh man, there's a big board. that's the board, and there's all the national parks. You can't see me, but you can see the board. Is that pretty good? And there we go. And you're going to be moving around this map, and you're going to be playing cards for movement, which is a mechanism used in many games, and you can see what those look like. You'll have a hand of these cards, and you're allowed so many of them, and you're going to play them to move. And there's a whole bunch of them. I'd have to look on the component list, but it's a pretty thick deck. There you go. Pretty thick deck of movement cards that players are going to use. Then you have a small deck of goal cards that you're going to try to complete, get extra points at the end of the game. And you have these big cards, and these are the location cards, and you're going to try to complete them by paying the cost on the card, and you get the card in the right hand corner is how many points it is, and then you get a little special reward for doing those, and that's pretty cool. And gosh, there's whole bunches of them, and there's, you know, for each location: Hot Springs, Petrified Forest, Carlsbad Caverns. Yeah, this is a really cool game. These cards are beautiful and nice, and this game is easy to fall in love with because of that. The theme just comes through so strong in this game. The national parks, and this is a bear. I forget what he does.
First player marker.
Yeah, first player marker is this bear, and then we got green and yellow. We're always green and yellow, so that's our green and yellow stuff right there that we use in the game. And there's the other players' stuff, and okay, a nice draw bag, and you got these markers, these different colored pieces that are going to be all over the board, different locations, and those are the things you have to gather up to try to complete those goal cards, because it depends on how many stones you have of a certain color, whether you complete that and get the bonus points. So Trekking the National Parks is my number 71 game by Charlie Bink. We really, really like it. We got it used at a sidewalk sale, and that was a good way to pick this game up. So yeah, that's number 71. Trekking the National Parks, and that's it for this 10 games. I love all those games. I was excited to tell you about them tonight. I really, really enjoyed this video. I hope you did too, and I hope to see you again on the next 10 when we go through some more wonderful board games on the Bones Collector. Please smash that like button on there because it makes a difference. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe, and I'll see you the next time on the Bones Collector. I love every one of you, and keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet. Later, you guys. Bye-bye.